the prelim squad for the upcoming AFCON qualifiers against South Sudan and Uganda are out. Yet again, Hugo Broos has excluded the guys who play their trade in the MLS. I'm talking about Njabulo Blom, who plays for St. Louis City, Minnesota United, Bongugushe Hlongwane, and the one who is in Canada, Cassius Mailula. None of them are in the squad. He's included players who play their trade in Cyprus, in Norway, in Denmark, but the guys from America, he is not budging. I mean, Hugo Broos now, he's a darling of the soccer fans in South Africa because of the Bafana Bafana's exploits in the AFCON hosted in Ivory Coast. And it's even difficult to argue with the old man if Bafana Bafana is doing well. What is then the solution for these three players? Because they've played with Bafana Bafana before, for them to be in the Bafana Bafana squad. There's a greater chance that Bafana Bafana will qualify for AFCON and they will qualify for that 2026 World Cup hosted in USA, Canada, and Mexico. I do go by the name of Consensus Football. Discuss anything to do with football, soccer, from Africa to the world and from the world to Africa. Do you still remember when Cassius Mailula was rumored to be going to the MLS? One of the first people who was, commented on that was Hugo Broos. And he made it clear to Cassius and his agent that, he's not for him to move to that league. But as, all of us, we didn't really understand what's the problem with the old man. And he has backed it up by not selecting any of the guys who play in the MLS. In the past AFCON, they were not even in the prelim squad. I understand that the MLS, I think, season ends around October, November. So they need to find teams where they can train with or belong to teams until the reopening of the MLS. But either way, it doesn't look like our coach really rates that league. Now, if Hlongwane, Njabulo Blom, and Cassius Mailula want to find themselves back into the Bafana squad, I think the first thing they need to do, they need to get out of that league. Otherwise, they'll never play Bafana Bafana. They'll never play for Bafana Bafana. They'll never see AFCON again. They'll never see, if Bafana Bafana obviously qualifies, they'll never be have an opportunity to play in the World Cup. As things stand, Hlongwane with Minnesota United, I think he's got about 4 months left in his contract, and nothing is moving. There's no talks, and I think the best decision he could make for himself, the money is good. It's clear. The money is good in the MLS. The money is really, really good. These players will change their lives and that of their families forever. But if they really want to expose themselves in a bigger stage, it is obvious that AFCON now is followed by a whole lot of players outside the continent. We just watched the Euros 2026 in Germany. It was not impressive. The VAR was not impressive. The football was not that great. The competition was not that great. But if you compare it to AFCON 2024 in Ivory Coast, everyone is still raving about it. From the refereeing, from the VAR decisions, the football, the competitiveness. It's on a global stage, and there's a lot of scouts who come there from better leagues in Europe, and you can even argue that the Saudi professional league is better than MLS because of the amount of great players, not only retiree ages, but younger European players who play for Italy, France, Portugal, who are going to Saudi. So the best thing for these three players, because they're still young, is for them to find either be bold enough, just like a Cassius. I think they're just finalizing, final details for Cassius to leave the Toronto club and come and join Rulani Mokwena. Obviously, with that, they need to pay, I think, 2 players so that they can be able to register the players they have signed. Once they do that, I think it will be an obvious case that Rulani Mokwena is going to welcome back Cassius Mailula. And if you are playing for a coach that understands and knows your qualities and can take you back to the Cassius we knew at Mamelodi Sundowns, then it will be easier for Cassius to be considered for Bafana Bafana call-up. No different to Bongoguhle Shongwane, who's been doing, very well for the Minnesota club in the MLS, but unfortunately he's playing in the MLS, and Hugo Bruce is not budging whatsoever. And Njabulo Blom started well, and then the changes of the technical team has now subjected him to be a bench warmer. He starts from the bench as much as he will come in the second half, but he's not a starter as he was before. There's something happening there as well with him showing a bit of a rebel, not following what the team needs to do, and he was suspended for one game. But it is clear that he too is not happy there. He probably also wants out. Kaizer Chiefs, he's their former player. They are looking for a defensive midfielder, and he's a midfielder that can bite. He's a midfielder that can play. He's a midfielder that can organize a midfield around him. I mean, he's a right back, but he fitted in very well under Gavin Hunt playing that defensive midfield role. So the best thing for our players in the MLS, if they want to be considered for Bafana, who have a chance of going to that World Cup in USA, and who also have a chance of playing another AFCON in 2025, they need to leave MLS as soon as possible, because Hugo Bruce will not consider them. I mean, in South Africa, players realize that Bafana, they might have a chance to be considered. But because of the teams they're playing for in South Africa, they'll rather go into Africa. I mean, Africa, the football is really, really competitive. We saw Kanyisa Mayo living in Cape Town City, going to Algeria to play for Wydad, the Giants there. We saw Mokwena living as Kukuna United and not considering Kaizer Chiefs and going to the Tunisian Giants, not Africans. So you can just tell that if they play competitive football and they are playing in their teams, chances are Hugo Bruce will consider them and they will actually be in the squad, because CAF Champions League, CAF Confederations Cup is really, really competitive. Those players will be considered ahead of the guys in the MLS. If you're seeing this face and this content for the very first time, if I've added any value to your football world that you love, football world that you follow so much here in Africa, do like, do comment on the section below. What do you think might be the solution for these guys? Do share the content with your friends, WhatsApp groups, Twitter, Facebook, whatever social media platform. I would really, really appreciate that. And then make sure you check other videos as they're coming up more and more. And thank you so much. And may my God bless you all.